I kept saying tomorrow, but it never came. So I wasted years not going to the gym, ignoring my goals, and talking about dreams I never started. Every night, I promised myself that I would change, but every day I wouldn't until something snapped. I finally broke the cycle, and I'm going to show you the three things that made it happen. Now I take action. I feel productive, proud, and like I'm the version of me I actually respect, and I want the same for you. So first, we gotta cover our end goals. I went to the thrift store with my friends. I wanted to get some pants because I needed some new pants, and I looked through every section trying to find some pants, and I could not find anything that worked with me. And I'm looking around. My friends had pants. They had got clothes they were trying to get, but I couldn't find what I wanted. And I'm like, why do they not have anything I like? Then I sat there. I thought for a second. I'm like, well, what do I want? What am I looking for? And I told myself, I'm really just looking for pants that I can walk miles in. Because I'll go for a long, long walk. So I need loose pants that are easy and that comfortable to be in. Nothing too tight. And the second I told myself, I'm looking for pants that I can walk miles in, I started seeing pants that I wanted everywhere. Now, nothing in that store had changed. Everything was the same environment. The only thing that changed was what I was looking for, the goal of my mind. When I didn't have a goal, I saw no opportunities. But when I had a goal, opportunities were everywhere. And that's what I'm going to suggest to you. You need to have an end goal because until you have a goal you're working towards, you don't know what you're trying to do. And if you don't know what you're trying to do, you're going to push it off tomorrow. Even if you have like a vague goal, like, oh, I want to go to the gym. I want to read more. No, we need to make it more specific. Because the more specific you are, the more you know exactly what you're going to do, the more likely you're going to do it. Do you want to know how I got into the habit of reading? My end goal was just to build the habit of reading. That was it. And so I told myself every day when I took my shower and came back into my room, preparing to go to bed, I would read 5 pages of a book. That was 5 years ago. I have read hundreds of books now. And the reason you watch these videos and you get knowledge from me is because I spent those 5 years learning. I'm still reading. At this point, I don't really read new books. I mean, I do, but I really just reread the same books that have the most impact on me and relearn those lessons. But ultimately, you gotta have an end goal. Until you know exactly what you're going for, you will continue pushing it off. And you don't need to give me a very basic goal. You need to be specific. You need numbers. You need to know exactly what kind of number you're aiming for, or just what specifically trying to get. Like for the thrift shop, I told myself I need pants I can walk miles in. Not just I need pants. That's not specific. What specific is I need pants I can walk miles in. So how do you set end goals that work for you? You have to know yourself. Like I don't. If we were talking one on one, by the way, if you want to, there's a link in my description. Click the first link. But if we were talking one on one, we could really walk through it. A lot of people don't know themselves. I was walking through the neighborhood, and this one of my neighbors came out, and we ended up having a conversation. And he's telling me how he needs to start walking like me, all that stuff. He needs to do more things because he's always home just watching TV. And I was like, well, what do you like to do for fun? He didn't know. I said, well, what did he do for fun as a kid? He didn't do anything for fun. He was a farmer. So he lived on a farm and just worked. And then when he went to the military, so he just worked. I said, are you interested in anything? I don't know. He didn't know anything about himself. Because he didn't know what he liked. He couldn't figure out what to do, how to spend his time. So he just spent it watching TV in his house all day. So before he could even set goals and figure out how he wanted to spend his time, he needs to figure out who he is. And so many people have to figure it out too. I had to do the same thing too. We don't come into this world with people encouraging us to know each other, know who we are. But ultimately, you want to think about what matters to you. What is important to you? Don't think about what can make you the most money, because I know in this world, this capitalistic society, we value things based off the monetary value. That's why hobbies like playing with a simple yo-yo have fallen off, the world, because you can play with a yo-yo, but are you gonna make money though? No, so that feels like a waste of time. So that's why I'm saying, don't worry about the money part, any of that stuff. What matters to you? What do you want to do? And when you really sit down and reflect on what you care for, you'll start to realize what you want to start working towards. And then it'll be easier for you to make it end goal. Or if you want one-on-one help, you know what to click. First link in my bio. Now, the second thing is you need a plan. For a long time, I couldn't do a pull-up. I sucked at it. And I just thought I couldn't do it. Like, I felt like no matter how hard I tried, I would never get it. Until I saw my best friend do a pull-up who is tinier than me and might I say weaker than me. And when I saw that, I'm competitive. I'm like, all right, bet. Cool that. Okay, well then, I'm about to learn this pull-up. I spent the entire month after making that resolution to do a pull-up, not doing a pull-up, because all I was doing was watching video upon video on how to master a pull-up, the perfect workout, all these things. And towards the end of the month, I was like, wait a second, I'm trying to get this perfect thing, but I haven't even gone to the gym. What matters more? That matters more, going to the gym instead of trying to get the perfect plan. And these plans are overwhelming me, and I keep thinking I need more and more and more. What I need to do is just do something. So I scrapped the plan, and I literally told myself, all I'm going to do is go to the gym every other day, do push-ups, hang on the bars, and try to do a pull-up. That's it. And that's what I did for the first week. A stupid, simple plan is what I made. And it wasn't like a plan that targeted the muscles. I don't know if it did or not to do a pull-up, but it got me started. It gave me the momentum. And then as I kept consistently going to the gym and just doing push-ups, hanging from the bar, and trying to do a pull-up, then I was like, well, wait. I noticed I'm getting stuck and I can't pull all the way up. So what if I can look up how can I get past that stage? And so I looked up how can I get past getting stuck at the pull up, and that led me to more exercises I could do, and then incorporate that into my workout. And my workout naturally evolved from me starting with a stupid simple plan. And it evolved to me learning what I actually need to do to get the pull up, and now I can do pull ups. So this is all to say, when you have your end goal, do not make a complicated plan. You just need to make a stupid, simple plan. That's it. Because once you get started, you'll naturally evolve that plan, and then you'll be able to get to where you want to go at. The stairs will reveal itself. I was stuttering for a second, but I like this one quote where it says, go as far as you can go, and then when you get there, you go further. This stupid, simple plan is as far as you can go based off the experience you have, the knowledge you have right now. When you complete that plan and you feel yourself not getting anywhere, then you'll start to see where else you can go. But until you get started, you're not going to see where you can go. So how do you make a stupid, simple plan? Literally, when you have your end goal, okay? From that end goal, ask yourself, what are the 3 most important things you can do right now to get started? For me, when I was thinking about the push-up end goal, which was to literally just do 1 push-up at the time, I could do more, but at the time it was 1 pull-up, 1 pull-up. I was like, what's 3 things I can do? Push-ups, dead hang, try the pull-up. That's it. And by the way, if I've been saying push-up, just know I meant pull-up. They both start with P's. Pushing P's. You ain't gotta mess with me. Getting money. Let's stop. But anyway, so now you have your stupid, simple plan, which only consists of 3 of the most important things you can do to get started, getting closer to your end goal, and that will naturally evolve as you get started. So you have your end goal, you have your plan. Now you need the drive, the motivation to get up. Like I had the motivation to get up at 5 a.m. It's 6:17 now. And I have the energy to come up and record this video. How? It's all thanks to dopamine. Okay, and I'm not going to go too deep into dopamine, but I want you to understand that if you don't have enough dopamine inside of you, which is basically the motivational chemicals we all have, if you don't have enough, you can have your end goal, you can have your plan, but you're not going to get up to do the hard work necessary to achieve that end goal because your dopamine is low. So let me kind of break this down with a quick experiment that was conducted. So most people think about dopamine as a pleasure chemical, and the scientists want to figure out if that was really true. So they took 2 rats and put them each in separate cages. One rat had its dopamine, and the other rat was depleted of dopamine. Now the scientists gave each rat a piece of cheese, and they both enjoyed it. And they could tell both rats enjoyed it because they do something, like they have a cue that signals that there's a liking there. So it was ruled out that way. You don't need dopamine to feel pleasure because the rat without dopamine experienced pleasure from eating the cheese. So then the scientists moved the cheese just a little bit. And the rat with dopamine went to get the cheese, and the rat without dopamine did not move an inch to get the cheese. Instead, it just sat there and would have starved to death if the scientists did not feed the rat itself. So it was from that stage that we realized dopamine is not needed for pleasure. Dopamine is needed to do the hard work necessary to get the pleasure. It's for movement. Now, we live in a society where our dopamine level is so low. I'm not going to get deep into how our dopamine gets low because that will make this video way too long. But I need you to understand that this is an important part of actually having the drive to do the hard work to get the thing that will give you pleasure, to get the thing that will give you the reward that you're aiming for. You gotta have more dopamine inside of you, more motivational chemicals. And how do you lose it? When you experience pleasure. When you experience pleasure, dopamine is coming out. And dopamine is coming out all the time. Like I said, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I just want you to understand you need to improve your dopamine. Now, how can you do that? I have a full guide on how to improve your dopamine in my description. It's going to be the second link, below the link where you can work with me. The second link will be the dopamine guidebook that takes you A through Z. Do everything you need to know about dopamine so that you can improve yours and finally have that endless drive and endless motivation and endless energy to achieve your goals. And I know I might be sounding like hype man, but it is that true. Like, dopamine is such a crazy superpower in this day and age. But that is it. Get your end goal, figure out your stupid simple plan, dopamine detox, get the guidebook in my description. And the one last thing, if you need even more push, there's a video I made titled, You're Not Lazy, You Just Need a Reason. If you watch that video, it's going to really put a spark inside of you. So definitely recommend seeing that. But if you follow this advice down to a T, you will not waste years anymore saying tomorrow. You've got this.